Hi friends, it's Lisa Mears here. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'll be sharing the Stamps of Life Club products for the month of June of 2024, and I'll also be making some cards with these products. So first off, I want to share with you the Stamp and Die Club of the month for June, and this is called Lavish Long Stem Flowers, which are these two beautiful flowers, and there are some sentiments such as thinking of you, thanks, dream big, hello, you got this, embrace the beauty of today, and you are beautiful. If you are in the stamp club, you'll receive the stamp set, and if you are in the die club, you will receive the stamps with the coordinating dies. The card kit of the month for June is called Enjoy the Moment, and it has lots of goodies in here that correspond to the monthly Stamp and Die Hard Club set. And here's an idea card that is included that gives you some inspiration for using your kit. You get a large plastic storage envelope. This is great for storing your card kit contents or even your 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, which you do get 12 sheets of the 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock in the colors pineapple, slate, flamingo, blue jay, kiwi, pixie, bubblegum, ginger snap, and 4 sheets of powdered sugar. Such a pretty color palette for this month. Here is a look at the pattern paper pad. Lots of long stem flowers in the same pretty colors that you saw in the cardstock. There's lots of the long stem flowers, and on the opposite pages is this really pretty gingham pattern in those same colors. You also get some sheets here to die cut the long stem flowers with the coordinating dies. If you are in the Die Hard Club, you'll have those dies. Now this sheet we do not have the dies for. If you want to die cut these flowers from the paper pad, you would need the dies called Lavish Long Stem 2 Flowers, and that is an additional purchase. You could always use your scissors to fussy cut those flowers as well. They are pretty large and it looks like an easy cut. Here is a sheet of words. It says Enjoy the Moment, which is the name of this pattern paper pad. And in this kit, you also get the die that says Enjoy the Moment in the same font style as you see here in the pattern paper. So here we have some more long stem flowers and some smaller flowers, some more gingham patterns. There's also some more of the Enjoy the Moment in a smaller font size, some stripes and polka dots. Such a pretty paper pad. I love all of the colors in this pad. You do get 2 of each design. Okay, so in this card kit you also get some stickers, a couple of the long stem flowers and some sentiments on those stickers. There are some pink enamel dots in different sizes. There are also some felt flowers with a silver rhinestone in the center. You also get some stickers with some sentiments, hello, hi, and congrats. There's also some pink ribbon in this kit, as well as a card die set. This is the A1 Oval Crisscross die set. I used this die set in particular to make 3 cards, so be sure to stay tuned for that. So that's everything that's included in the Stamps of Life June card kit for 2024. If you are interested in finding out more information about being a Stamps of Life Club member, they have the Stamp Club, the Die Hard Club, and the Card Kit Club. They also have a Fold It Club. I will put the links down in the description box below where you can go ahead and check that out. And thank you to those of you who have used my link or my coupon code Lisa Mears when signing up or upgrading your membership, because I do make a small commission at no extra cost to you, and it does help support me and my YouTube channel. So thank you so much. So for my first card, I will be using the A1 Oval Crisscross card die set, and I am going to be using this die set a few different ways in this video. So for this first card, I'm going to make a very easy, straightforward card With this die set, you can make a 3D type card, but I'm going to make a flat card today. So you can see these layering dies. There are some hearts on the layering panels. There's also a long stem flower. This is a smaller flower that's included in this set. It's smaller than compared to the one in the Die Hard Club set. So I went ahead and took this large die and die cut it out of some white cardstock. It looks kind of plain right now, but there are some layering dies for each of the sides of this piece. So we have one for the left and one for the right, which you can use colored cardstock or pattern paper to lay over the white cardstock. And I went ahead and die cut those layering dies out of some pattern paper, and I'll go ahead and glue those panels onto the white cardstock. If you are familiar with the Stamps of Life Flip It card die sets, this is very similar to that, only here I'm making a flat panel. This panel is going to go on the front of an A2 size card, and I want to hide a little bit better those white spaces, those white horizontal lines that are on the left and right side of this panel. So I'm just going to use the ribbon in the kit and put a little bit of ribbon over top of that white area. I used some double-sided tape and added some of the double-sided tape to the card layer and added the ribbon, and now I'm just flipping it over and adding some more double-sided tape to the back to attach the ends of the ribbon around the back of that card panel. I will repeat that identical process on the other side. So I'm just adding the double-sided tape to the front and back over that white line and adding the ribbon and wrapping the ribbon around the back side. I cut a piece of the yellow gingham pattern paper to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so it's a little bit smaller than an A2 size card front. And here I'll go ahead and attach that panel to the front. I love how you can see the pattern paper through the center, but you can also cover that up with the oval that cuts out when you cut out the large die. And I'm going to go ahead and use that oval that cut out with that large die, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment inside. So the sentiment, I am using the Thinking of You sentiment from the stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp that out with some black ink. So you can use this large panel either vertically or horizontally. I'm going to go ahead and use this horizontally since that's how I stamped out my sentiment. So I'll go ahead and glue the oval right to the center. And next I'll use the flower die that came with the card base die set. So this is the smaller flower. I die cut 2 of them from white cardstock, and I'm just using my Distress Oxide inks to add some ink to those die cut pieces. I thought it was easier to do it this way rather than die cutting these flowers out of colored cardstock and piecing them together. I just die cut out of white cardstock and took some inks out and just colored up the white die cuts. So one of the flowers is going to have pink petals, and I use the Kitsch Flamingo ink for the pink petals. The next flower is going to have yellow petals, and I'm using the squeezed lemonade to ink those petals up. For the stem and the leaves, I'm using the Mowed lawn ink. I'm also using a small ink blending brush because these die cuts are so small. The smaller ink blending brush will just give me more control over where that ink goes on those small die cuts. The center of those flowers, I'm using shaded lilac. This is a purple ink. And now I've finished inking those flowers. I'm ready to add them to my card. So I'm just going to add them off to the left of the sentiment. And then after I've added the flowers, I'm going to take this entire panel and add it to a piece of the Pixie solid color cardstock, which is the light purple cardstock from the kit. And I had cut that to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then I'm just adding that to an A2 size card. I did put some of those pink enamel dots on the front, and that completes card 1. Now we're going to use that same card-based die set and make another card. This time it's going to be more of a 3D interactive card. So I'm using the largest die from that set, and I die cut 4 pieces of solid cardstock. This is the slate color. Now when you die cut the 4 pieces of solid cardstock, it does put a score line down the center, which I didn't mention that in the last card because there was really no purpose to mention it because I didn't use that score line. But for this card, we are using that score line. So you can see it there, and I'm just folding at the score line, and I'll do that for all 4 panels. Now, you can use colored cardstock here, you can use white cardstock, you can use pattern paper, whatever you want for these panels. So I'm just folding at the score line on all 4. And then I'm going to take one of those panels and I'm just going to lay it flat on my table. I'm going to take another one, and with it folded, I'm going to glue it so that it is on the right side of the panel that's on the table. So you can see how it's folded here. And then I'm just going to put glue on the back side of the panel. And once I have glue on there, I'm going to attach it to the panel that was lying flat on my table. So just take one of your panels and attach the right side so that it lines up. Next, you're going to take another panel with it folded. You're going to do the same thing. So here I'm going to put glue on the bottom side, and then I'll attach it in the same spot on the panel that's on the table. So just attach it to the left side of the panel that's on the table. So you can see how it's already starting to look like a 3D card because you have some panels there that are sticking up a little bit. So next I'm going to take a piece of twine, and the twine that I'm using is the Pink and Main Sunny Sky twine. They just released a whole bunch of different colors of twine in their shop, and I was lucky to find one that actually matched this cardstock. So notice that I put a strip of glue on the top and bottom where that score line is on the panel that I attached those sides. And then I'm going to take a piece of twine and I'm going to just press that twine onto the glue, and I'm going to pull that twine so there's no slack in it. I want it to be pretty tight and straight. Next, I'm going to add glue to the front of that piece that has the twine attached. I'll add the glue on both the left and right side. Next, I'm going to take that last piece of cardstock, and that's the piece that's going to cover up the twine. So I'm going to add it so that the back side is face down on the twine, and I'm just lining it up. I'm also going to pull the twine on both ends just to make sure that that string is nice and strong and straight and there's no slack on it. So that string is going to be used to add the flower to the string so that it looks like it's dangling on the inside of that oval. But you can see how this card, it opens up, and that's why it's called a crisscross card, because it looks like a crisscross once it's open. I'm going to go ahead and snip off the extra twine on the top and bottom. And now I'm ready to decorate these panels. So I'm going to take the layering dies. I die cut 2 different patterns of paper with the layering dies, which gives me 8 different die cut pieces. I'm using a pink gingham pattern and a floral pattern. So I'm going to attach the gingham to one side, and then I'm going to add the floral panel to the next opening. I'll turn to the next opening on the left and I'll add the gingham pattern again, and then I'll finish by adding the floral pattern on the last opening. So you can see how this card would stand up on a table, and it looks like a crisscross. So now I'm ready to work on the flower that's going to be attached to the twine. I die cut 2 of the flowers out of white cardstock. So I am going to do ink blending on them like I did in the first card, But I want to show you that for one of the flowers, I'm going to turn it over and I'm actually going to ink up the back side. And the reason I'm doing that is because these two flowers will be glued together. And in order for them to glue together so that all sides are equal, they need to be attached so that the back of one flower is glued to the front of the other flower. So I'm going to skip through all of this ink blending since I already showed you how I did it with the first card. And I'm now going to go ahead and glue these to a shadow layer. So using the shadow die that came in this set, I die cut 2 shadow layers out of white cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and attach one of the flowers to the first shadow layer. And then for the second one, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to attach the other flower that I inked up on the back side. I'm attaching it to the second shadow layer. So there are my 2 flowers. And now when you put these on top of each other, you can see that they line up perfectly. So that's how they're going to be adhered on the twine onto that card. So one of the flowers is going to be attached to the front of the twine. The twine will be in the center of both of those flowers. You can see how I am going to just add some glue to the back side of this flower. And then I'm going to attach the next flower right on top. I decided to bring in some of those pink dots and add one to the center of the flower on both sides just to add a pop of the pink color. I think that's so pretty. I am going to add a sentiment to this card. I'm just going to stamp out a small one that says "You got this," and I'm stamping it on the gingham pattern since it's not as busy. And I'm going to take a couple of the small flowers from this sticker sheet and add them next to the sentiment. So here's a look at all 4 sides of this card. So you can see that this card will stand on a table and it does fold flat to stick into an envelope. Now when you're putting this in an envelope, if you just turn this flower or whatever element you might have attached to the twine, twist it up really well and put it in the envelope, and then when the recipient takes it out of the envelope, that centerpiece should spin. So that will complete my second card. For my next card, I'm going to use some of the flowers that are in the paper pad, and I'm using the dies from the Die Hard Club set to die cut them out. I'm actually only going to use 2 of the flowers, but I did go ahead and die cut all 3. I have a piece of pattern paper that I am using for this card, and I also have a stitch rectangle frame that I die cut out of some white cardstock. This is a Pink and Main die, and any extra supplies that I use in this video, they will be linked in the description box below in case you're interested in what I've been using. So the flowers, I'm going to group them like they are in a bouquet. And I'm also using the Hello die that I die cut out of pink cardstock, and I backed up on a white shadow layer. That Hello die is from the die set from the Die Hard Club. I'll go ahead and add the flowers to the card front. And I'm going to add a bow to the stems of those flowers. So using the ribbon from the card kit, I tied it in a bow, added a glue dot to the back, and added that to the card front. The word hello will go in the bottom right hand corner of that card. And then that layer will be attached to an A2 size white card base. I'll add some of these pink dots to the front of the card, and that card is now complete. For my next card, I cut a piece of white cardstock to measure 3 1/4 by 4.5 inches, and I'm adding it to my MISTI because I'm going to stamp out a sentiment in the lower right hand corner. I'm stamping the sentiment with black ink, and this sentiment says "You are beautiful." I cut a piece of the purple pattern paper to 3 3/8 by 4 5/8, so it's slightly larger than the white cardstock. And I chose to use pattern paper for that purple because it matches perfectly that purple flower. So I attached the white cardstock to the purple paper, and I also cut out a strip of the purple and white gingham paper, cut it to 1/2 inch by 4.5 inches, and I added it to the left side of that white cardstock and cut another purple strip to 1/8 inch by 4.5 inches and just added it right to the edge on the right side of that gingham paper. I'm adding the flower to the white area of that panel. And then I'll add that panel to a white A2 size card base. I have some of the Spellbinders crystal mix that I'm going to add to the front of the card, and then that's going to complete this card. So for my next card, I'm going to use that A1 oval crisscross die set one more time, but this time I want to use the layering panels that are within the die set that have the hearts that will actually cut out from those layered panels. So I dropped the heart dies inside of the layering panel dies, and I die cut some pixie cardstock, and you can see when that comes out of the die cutting machine, it cuts out all of those hearts. I did end up saving all of those hearts because I'm actually going to turn this into a shaker card today. So I also took those layering panels and just die cut them alone with the pink cardstock. So I have a solid back, and I'm going to glue on the heart die cut panel onto the solid pink piece. You can see the pink hearts through those openings. So you can see that pink cardstock through the openings, so it looks like they're pink hearts. Okay, so there's my two panels. Next, I die cut the large die out of white cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and glue on those side panels with the hearts. I love those hearts. You can use them for a card for an anniversary, a wedding, Valentine's Day. So there's all the hearts that cut out. I went ahead and saved them all. And I'm going to turn this panel into a shaker card. I'm not going to do the whole 3D thing that I did with the second card. This will be a flat card. It's just going to have a little bit of dimension because it will be a shaker. So on the back side of that solid panel, I just cut a piece of acetate to fit the opening, added some glue around the oval, and attached the acetate. I set that piece aside, and I cut another piece of pattern paper down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, added it to a white A2 size card base, and now I am going to take some foam and add it to the back side of the panel that has the oval on the front. I'm adding some foam around all 4 sides of this panel, and then I'm also going to add the foam around the oval, just right on the outside of that oval, because when I add the shaker pieces, which are going to be the hearts, and I'm also going to bring in some other shaker pieces to this as well, I want to make sure that those shaker pieces stay contained within just that oval part and they don't expand all the way out to the edges of that card panel. So I want them contained right here within this opening. Okay, so next I am going to add the hearts to the center of the A2 size card base with the pattern paper. I'm also going to go in my stash. I found some white shaker elements. I don't know where these are from. Were sitting in my stash, and I added those as well. Now I'm just going to remove the backing off of the foam on the oval panel, and I will add that to the front of the A2 size card base. So I'm just closing in all of those shaker pieces. Now I'm just going to add a sentiment to the front, and I'm using the word die that came included with the card kit. It says enjoy the moment. I just die cut it out of some pink cardstock, and I'm just going to add it to the center of the oval. I'm also going to bring in some of the pink felt flowers, and I'm going to add one at the top right of the oval and two at the bottom left. I'm just going to use some glue to glue them onto the card. And that's going to complete this card. If you're interested in seeing an up-close picture of all of the cards that I created today, you can head over to my blog at lisamearsdesigns.com. There will be a coordinating blog post link in the description box of this YouTube video. And once again, if you're interested in joining a Stamps of Life club, check the link out in the description box of this YouTube video. You can also sign up with my coupon code Lisa Mears, which will also give you 500 bonus club points to spend in the Stamps of Life store. I would love for you to leave me a comment and let me know which card was your favorite. And as always, if you like this video, please make sure you click that thumbs up button, as it does help my channel. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.